Okay, Itamaxistiko, good day. The footage you're about to watch was collected on the 21st of April, 2018, in the lunar cycle Matsi Kapesaki Sam, the frog moon. And it was a super windy day, typical for southern Alberta, so I decided to just film and narrate afterward. So what occurred was that morning I had been in contact with a wildlife veterinarian in Montana to talk about little Tribble here, the white-tailed jackrabbit baby that I've been taking care of the last few days. And I told her about the problems that Tribble is having producing good-sized poops, and that she hasn't been eating on her own, that I've been nursing her with cat's milk. And what the veterinarian basically told me was that without having an injury, Tribble is better equipped on her own to take care of herself in the wild than I am, or even than a professional rehabilitation center would be to take care of her. So she thought I should bring her back out to the wild, so to speak. I decided I would bring her to a certain spot in the coulees just outside of my neighborhood, within walking distance of my house. I selected this area because I thought there's less predators, somewhat less predators. I mean, there's weasels and stuff, and there are coyotes, but fewer coyotes, fewer birds of prey, fewer predators, and I was trying to give her the best shot that I could. And I knew a little area where there's some good Saskatoon brush down this way that met with the short grass prairie that is her natural environment, so she could have the cover of the Saskatoon brush and move into the area that has the flora that she needs. So what I learned from the wildlife biologist was that these white-tailed jackrabbits are born, I think she's called it precochial, but in any case, like a goose. When they're hatched, they're ready to go. You know, they're ready to start foraging on their own, and this is the way that these white-tailed jackrabbits are. And the mother will come back to them, a couple of times a day to nurse them a bit. But in the absence of a mother, a white-tailed jackrabbit baby will still forage on its own and will find the droppings of other white-tailed jackrabbits and eat those in order to gain the microbiota in the gut that they need, that they would normally get from their mother's milk. So, from the sounds of it, Tribble is going to be way more equipped to take care of herself than I was to take care of her. And the vet said there's a very high mortality rate for jackrabbits, hares like this in general, when wildlife rehabilitation centers and organizations attempt to raise them. So given that she didn't have an injury, if it was an injury, it'd be a different story, right? If it was an injury, I'd have to try my best to make her survive it, at my place. But without injury, it seems definitely she's going to be better on her own. And I was getting pretty worried going into day 3 or 4 or whatever of her not really doing good poops, right? That's not a good thing. So she has been pretty active, kind of spunky. And so I thought she would take to going outside, and she did, right? She looked around a little bit. She's a little bit, what are my options? And I'm sure it's quite intimidating to just be dropped into a new environment like this. But this is the way it goes. When I described her problems, her condition to the vet, she said probably what's going on with her poops is that she's not getting the fiber that she needs, which makes sense. She wasn't eating the greens that I was offering her. So she's not getting the fiber, she's not hydrated enough, and she's stressed, right? So best to get her out into her environment where her instincts can kind of take over and guide her. I'm always trying to do what's best for the animal, right? That's the whole objective, is to help the animal. And so in a case like this, where I'd really never worked with white-tailed jackrabbits before and didn't know much about their natural history, this is a big learning experience for me. It's like this little Tribble comes into my life and gives me some teaching. Now, this is going to be something I'll have for my toolkit down the road, because I'm sure she's not the only white-tailed jackrabbit that's going to end up coming across my door, right? So, yeah, put the egos aside and help the animals. Leaving Tribble on her own, I then went on to my next mission, which is a mystery. My friend Tom got a hold of me this afternoon, and he says that out here on his acreage, the Big Wood Acreage, he has a trout pond. And in the shed beside that trout pond, there's a big container of, like a big garbage bin of trout food. And he says some animal has been sneaking into the shed, like every night, getting into that container and helping itself to the trout food. Now, he thinks it might be a muskrat, because he knows there's a muskrat that's been at least visiting his pond if it's not living there. But it could be a skunk, could be something else. So he thought it would just be fun if I were to go out there and put up a camera trap so we could see who it was who's visiting. So yeah, I went out there. I had to go on foot the last little way because the road got pretty, it was muddy. You know, everything's in thaw right now here. So there's real possibilities of getting stuck in mud if you're not careful where you're driving. So yeah, this is Tom's little cabin here, and the shack is just on the right. I got to kind of go around the fence line to get at it. Here is the trout pond itself, which also serves as a swimming hole for guys hanging out at the acreage. And this is the shack where some of the pond stuff is, including the fish food. So this is the situation, right? You've got basically ramshackle shack, and in this bin is the food that the whoever has been, I know it just looks black in this video, but there is fish food in there, pellets, kind of like rabbit food looking things. Anyway, I have brought with me a Bushnell camera trap, and I figure we'll set it up and see who's getting into this fish food. It's kind of a fun mystery to check out. So I just chose an area on a shelf, an adjacent shelf, where I could angle the camera down onto the top of the bin, that area, and that'll be that. We'll check back probably tomorrow, or at latest Monday, and see who it is.